Do you think there are God-given gifts?
Yeah, I do. And then some have to be awakened. You know, some have to be awakened. And they have to be awakened to a point to where you don't let anybody make you stray from that, you know. And then we, you know, there's this thing called monastic silence, and I talked about that on the site, that monks do. And at times they'll stop speaking. They'll just go on a hiatus from speaking. And then eventually they'll start to speak, but slowly, so many words a day, right? So now the thought process in that is, as I start to speak, I have to watch what I say, because I hear myself say it and it goes back into my brain and in my heart, and I can believe what I'm hearing myself say. People, most of the time, don't hear themselves saying things that's keeping them from getting to where they're going. The other thing is not just the things they say, but the things they say in their head keeps them from reaching it, right? So you got what they say, you got the things they say to themselves, and then when you add in family, friends, relatives, blah, 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 you have a lot working against you. So you have to resist that. But that resistance is going to get stronger. The more you strive to get to your goal, that resistance will counter that. So the yin and yang, that sine wave. The harder you try to get there, you got everything working against you. Split that word up, resistance, and take a stance to resist those things, and you'll be fine. Because all you gotta do is make it through. Make it through those thoughts, make it through the things in life that can hit you, because things in life will happen also. You can start saving your money. I guarantee you, start saving your money to go on a trip. And I guarantee you, a car might break down, tire might go flat, something, just life, to make you spend that money. But you gotta understand how to not use all of it and just maintain through it. And eventually you'll take that trip you wanna take, you know what I mean? But it's one of those things of just maintaining until you get to the other side.
You know, this sine wave metaphor, I think we could take it to all kinds of levels. I think that a lot of people live their lives with a wave that is not, it doesn't have too many peaks and dips. Like, it's kind of because of the need for security and certainty. And if it is true that the higher you go, the lower you can, or like the more challenges you can experience, then you're butting up against people's concern or fears about, you know, bad stuff or scarcity or things that can happen. Or in the case of, say, celebrity, the haters that come along and, you know, having to you know, or even, like you said, the demons in your own head, or, you know, ego, you know, issues and that kind of thing. And I wonder, do you think it's totally worth in this lifetime for us to reach higher, even if it means that we have to face stronger obstacles, if that is true?
Well, I'm glad you said in this lifetime, because there's only one, right? So why not? You know what I mean? We whether you live trying to compete or compare to the Joneses, as they used to say, or, you know, you're one of the haters on the sideline, at the end of the day, you want the most for yourself. You want the best for yourself or your family, or, you know what I mean, or to be able to do things in life. So why not? Why not take that chance? And my what ifs are not career-wise. My what ifs are, what if I hadn't talked to that girl? You know, what if I hadn't, you know, that kind of stuff. What if I had went right instead of left? But not career things. All the career things, I decided I'm just gonna try them. Whether I felt I was ready for them or not, or good enough or not, I went for it, and I did it. I experienced it. Had I not done that, had I listened to my mom and followed my brother and my friend, or any of that, I wouldn't have seen the world. I wouldn't have seen the life, or I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you, or any of the things that I achieved. You know what I mean? I would be in Detroit right now. So I don't have that what if. So that feeling gets me through the down points. Because the down points, you know, that we talk about with that sine wave, it's gonna happen for anybody. I don't care who you are. You could be Steve Jobs, had everything, had the world in his fingertips, but couldn't, you know, keep his health together. So, you know, we all are gonna have that, whether we like it or not. It's just, how do we get through it? How do we maintain to the next up? Some of us do, some don't.
Well, and I think, well, in the music industry, I think there's a certain lifestyle. How would you describe that lifestyle to somebody who's not in the industry or a musician to understand the balance that is so difficult to maintain?
Well, that lifestyle is similar to someone in acting or someone in sports to a degree, to a degree. But the lifestyle is to understand that I think you should understand that there's going to be plateaus and there's going to be points where you're not going to be the fastest gun in the West anymore. So you have to know as you transition, what's your next thing? What are you going to redevelop yourself into? Similar to like Prince would do things where the first 10, 20 years, he wouldn't do interviews. So there was the mysticism behind him, the mystery, about him. And then eventually when he wasn't so known, when people started to not care, he started to do interviews. And reinventing yourself, there was a thing I did for the NFL where it was about a movie for people who would sign into the NFL, for the players. And the first guy that they followed, he was hit at the peak of his career. He was clipped, and it took him out of the game completely. Up until that point, he was following everybody, all the players. He was buying the houses, he had the cars, he was doing everything everybody else was doing. But he had 4 kids, and he had adopted like 5 kids. So it wiped him out. He literally was being taken care of by the church, with all these kids. And it was a sad thing to see. The next guy, he was clipped too. But they told him he would have a year to, rehabilitate himself. Now, what he didn't know was his wife had been putting money away because she was supporting him, but she was like, no, this might not last forever. So, he was on camera in tears, thanking his wife for hiding money, putting money away. Now, the third guy was Jerome Bettis. And he knew it wouldn't last forever, So he started to develop a clothing line. He started to do commentary on the different programs. So once he transitions out of football, he would be on TV talking about football, you know what I mean? And I think that's something that musicians need to keep in mind of how to transition, to the next level. Because once you reach the top, literally the top, where do you go? Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, Quincy had to figure that out. After Thriller, where do you go? When you are the one that leads the industry, he probably stopped getting phone calls because people thought he wasn't available, he was too expensive, he didn't, you know what I mean? And that happens with anybody. So how do you go from that to the next thing? You have to find your way, you have to find a way to transition and maintain so you have longevity and create relationships to give yourself longevity.